I want him to go out there and carry himself like a winner.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind, presented by Specs in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We've got the fan show guys. Guys, favorite part of the show. Roy, start us off.
Hey, man, I'm a homer. So it's always AT.
Yeah, you always say AT.
I really like AT segments. I do, as long as he can ever get his audio correct.
Well, he's always at a train track or like a
wind
freaking
tunnel,
a derby, a rodeo.
Like the indoor skydiving.
I thought McGee was especially good today.
Yeah.
Just some insight from the quarterback position.
I think it was awesome.
He's always good.
I agree with that because he knows his stuff. That's for sure.
We also had Gary Goff on the program. Did you have a favorite part, Juan?
Brian Swope.
Swoper.
Really like
or Swopey, actually.
Swope is not happy.
No, he wasn't. None
Nope.
of us are. It's okay. We're going to be happy soon enough, I hope. I really, really hope. It's the TexAgs Rewind. Check it. Moving on to number 3.
Carson Beck, the Georgia quarterback, the stats weren't outstanding, but he did lead Georgia over Clemson, a pretty good defense last year, and probably a pretty good defense this year.
Really good numbers against that defense, right?
Yeah, 23 of 33, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't know what Clemson's going to be like this year, but last year they were 8th in the country in pass defense.
One game isn't going to define a season, but I was very high on Cam Ward entering the year.
Yeah.
Kind of like Hendon Hooker a couple years back.
We'll see. Proved right.
And I was proved right. We'll see if I'm proved right with him in Miami.
Cam Ward, a lot of people don't know he's a Texas kid that supposedly wanted to come here, and the previous coaching staff didn't recruit him. Anyway, he shined against an opponent. We can argue how good Florida is, but this is an SEC team, and he went out and had a great game, 26 of 35, 385 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I'd take that against anybody, bro.
Yeah.
Anybody.
But especially
against the Florida. If I got that number minus 100 yards from Connor, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say he throws for 285 and 3 touchdowns. I'm happy.
Yeah,
Estoy
absolutely.
contento.
But again, you throw in what should be the caliber of competition.
Right.
I don't know. Florida may be terrible on defense, but you know what? They're better than they're still better than a lot of teams that other Heisman hopefuls played last week.
Our next guy made you a believer. We may have laughed about his name early on, even though we thought it was a great name, brilliant name. But now you're on team.
Miller Moss. Yes, Miller Moss, the USC quarterback.
He could be an FBI agent. He could be a football player. This guy can do it all.
Yeah, he's, you know what? He's just Miller Moss, Miller Moss. Don't ever forget the game. Yes, you need Moss. There was a lot of that.
The boss Moss.
That LSU defense is supposed to be better. It may not be, but...
And that's a good offense.
But he completed 5 of 6 passes for 49 yards in a game-winning drive in the final minute of a 27-20 victory. Overall, 27 of 36 for 378 yards and a touchdown. You can say that LSU has a bad defense, but LSU only allowed more passing yards than that Miller Moss had in just 2 games last season. So Miller Moss is the boss.
The boss Moss, no doubt. Well, something that Coach Yoko said, when you talk about separation, it's not just on the wide receivers. Some of it's the routes that we're calling. It's making sure that we get the right routes against the right leverages. So some of it, there's multiple things happening. It's not just Connor missing the throws. It's not just the receivers not getting open. It's also making sure you put your receivers in a position that Connor can feel comfortable delivering the ball.
For sure. I mean, I think that there's multiple occasions where I saw instead of, you got a basic route and the receiver cuts down his basic at 8 yards and cuts across the middle, and Connor's on a 3 or 5 step drop, and they're just not synchronized. So they're off. And so now Connor's, running for his life, and he doesn't feel comfortable, and his feet are getting happy, and he's having to go to his next progression. And then that just creates a lot of, I just think that continuity is so important with a quarterback and receiver, that they've got to trust each other, and they got to believe in each other, and that's something that they can fix with practice and reps and stuff like that. So we just got to continue to do that in practice. I think that these guys have got to take time. Preparation is huge. As a receiver, as a quarterback, your preparation every single week. These guys should be, after practice, spending 30 minutes a day extra with their quarterback, making sure that they get this stuff figured out.
I don't know if you guys saw his press conference on Monday, but there was almost a cockiness in his response. And cocky's not the right word. I felt I got this. That's what I felt from him, from my quarterback. I see my mistakes. I got this. I didn't see a quarterback that looked scared. I didn't see a quarterback. Not only did he speak to the media, and I expect my quarterback to speak to the media after a rough game. I expect that. But I saw a guy's like, I'm going to work this out. I've talked to my team. I'm good. And I'm happy with that kind of response.
You got to. You got to own it. You got to look the guys in the eyes and say, it's all me. And you got to show up every day as the same guy. You can't show up Monday morning walking wounded, right? Because the guys they see that, and they're gonna react to the way that you're preparing. If you're out there, sulking around and woe is me and didn't play good, and guys don't respect that, man. They respect the guy that shows up the exact same way he did week 1 of training camp, right? Like, let's go. Yeah. It's time to work. It's time to grind. Show them with your play. The word part of it's done now, right? You own what you own. Now you got to show up and you got to back it up.
You got to back it up.
So what are your thoughts on, and what are you telling your players about coming to Kyle Field, the atmosphere? You never know, 90, 100,000 folks could be there, about the moment, soaking in the moment, but also playing your brand of football.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for us, right? I think every player across the country, dreams of playing in front of big stadiums or playing professionally even. And this is as big as they get. It's probably as close as playing at the professional level. So, it's going to be a great opportunity for us to go out there and play extremely hard and see what happens. How about building on last year? I was prepping for this interview, and I saw that you all have the most transfers in America. So you have a lot of transfers coming in, and you're trying to establish your routine with this group. How difficult has that been, having so many new players, especially with so many games early on?
Yeah, we were very choosy on who we added, right? And that's just the world we live in nowadays. I think the transfer portal is something that everybody takes a big part in. So, it's been a challenge, but I think we've gotten the right guys, the guys that have bought into our culture and want to come here and be part of a change and have a big impact on our campus. So, it's been great so far. And, we got a lot of improvement ourselves, but I feel like the team is gelled together and they're in a great place right now, mentally and physically. And we're excited about the season.
Tell me about your quarterback room, because first off, Clifton McDowell, I know he can run. And you also have a guy in Six Killer. His last name is Camden Six Killer, the best name I've seen in a while, who played for you all last year and can come in relief and do big things with his arm as well.
Yeah, Clifton can kind of hurt you with his legs and with his arm. He's a big quarterback that can extend plays and can make every throw. And Six Killer was a true freshman for us last year. We redshirted him. He got in at the end of the season, and he's gotten bigger and stronger and is more comfortable back there. But another player's got a big arm, and he played some great high school football. So we expect big things out of both these quarterbacks, and I'm very fortunate to have them both on my roster. That's for sure.
So let me just ask you this. Connor goes out and has a nice game this weekend against, a subpar opponent. Does it do anything for you? Does it move the needle at all? Does it make you feel like, all right, he's got his timing and his confidence back? Or is it all about what happens against Florida?
Well, listen, I'm not going to wake up. I don't think there's anything he can do where I wake up on Sunday and say, oh, that's your Heisman front runner right there, Connor Wigman, get your bets in. But I think the counter is, I wouldn't dismiss a very good performance, because I think the alternative is you wouldn't dismiss if he was really, really, really terrible this coming week. He needs to show improvement, significant improvement. So to me, I can't say that I would totally dismiss a positive performance, because I wouldn't totally dismiss a negative performance. So yes, you need to see him better. And yes, but to your point, so both your points are totally fair. You need to see him look better, but there isn't anything that he can do where we sit there and say, okay, he's ready for the heart of SEC play. It's going to be defined really starting next week in the swamp. I think it's a great question by you, David. You want to see something positive. You don't want to see negative, but I don't think there's anything he can do that would make me say everything's going to be fine and the Notre Dame thing was a one-off deal until I see him in the swamp next week.
All right. Who's going to tell the people what to do?
I think he did so well with it.
Yeah, you're going to like it. You're going to subscribe it, comment if you need to. What did I miss?
Share it.
Share it.
Click
Turn
that
on
notification bell so you never miss another TexAgs.
Yeah, hey, when you're busy and you don't catch the whole show, hit the rewind. You get caught up real quick.
Comment and
comment.
I'm not gonna
Share it with your friends, and if you hate it, share it with people you don't like.
Yeah, and if you want to be mean, just don't be mean. You can be critical, just don't make it personal.
Absolutely.
We're tough.
Yeah, grow up.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a while for me. It's the TexAgs Rewind. We'll see you next time.